Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
And I'm Rhian Holmes.
And today is, it's our second, no, I'm a liar, I'm a dirty liar. It's our third three picks series. And today we have Rhian Holmes, who you'll know from our It's Wonderful Life episode. And we'll get to our other picks later in the month. But to kick us off, as you know, the three-pick series, I Have No Choice, and three films are chosen. And the films that have been chosen, none of them I especially hate. So it's gone quite well, especially Finn's choices. Finn's three choices were three films I already was going to do, and it's just nice to brought them forward. Rhian, why don't you tell us first about the film we're going to be talking about today?
Today, I thought I would subject Tom to my potentially favourite film of all time.
Okay.
Stephen Chbosky's classic, Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Dear friend, I haven't really talked to anyone outside of my family all summer, but tomorrow is my first day, and I really want to turn things around this year.
You know, they say if you make one friend on your first day, you're doing okay.
Hey, freshman Toad! Look at him! Come on, hop! Let's move it, boys!
If my English teacher's the only friend I make today, that would be sort of depressing.
So, Charlie, this is what fun looks like.
Welcome to the island of misfit toys.
Do you like football?
Love it. Be aggressive! Passive aggressive!
What is she doing?
Don't worry, she does it all the time.
And I resent ever being called basic for liking this film. I think just let things be good, you know?
Well, I think there's a larger conversation that preempting usually on my little pad. What's the change is one line, but I knew there was going to be more, so I
know what it is. I know what you're going to say.
No, there's plenty. There was a lot more. There's lots of little things throughout. I think overall, I think it's great. Yeah, overall, I think it's a great film. I do enjoy it. There's lots of things I would change.
Yeah, I mean, is it a perfect film?
No.
Not by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it shouldn't be consigned to the realm of other kind of kitschy rom-coms, because personally, I think it's so much more than that.
Do you think if people knew how crazy you really were, no one would ever talk to you?
Come on, let's go be psychos together.
So what are you gonna do when you get out of this place?
I really want to be a writer, but I don't know what I'd write about.
You could write about us.
Call it Slut and the Falcon. Make us solve crimes. C-, ladies and gentlemen, I am below average! Below average!
Why do I and everyone I love pick people who treat us like we're nothing?
We accept the love we think we deserve.
You see things, and you understand. You're a wallflower.
I didn't think anyone noticed me. I know there are people who say all these things don't happen. I know these will all be stories someday. But right now, we are alive. And in this moment, I swear, we are infinite.
Oh yeah, I mean it's and in a way, anytime it does lean into the kitschiness, it's to play the. I mean, it's hard to call it a twist, but no, it's a twist. The relationship of Aunt Helen is and what comes of that. I mean, the imbuing of darkness throughout the film, makes it what it is. And then every time we do get something a bit more soppy, a bit more, jovial and happy, it then brings us back down to the horrific reality of Charlie's situation. Are you a book person, Rhian? Are you a book person?
I was in my kind of early teens, and this was a book that I read and kind of held fierce admiration for. I don't read enough now. After, actually. Yeah, and it was interesting because I think to an extent they kind of watered down the character of Charlie for Hollywood. I feel like if they'd stuck, religiously to the text, he would have come across a lot more childlike, which I think wouldn't have translated well in certain scenes. But I don't disagree with the choice. I think it was good to have Logan Lerman play it the way that he did. Yeah.
I haven't read the book. I had an ex who didn't like the film as much because she felt that the book was better, and I can't exactly remember. It was about the Aunt Helen relationship, so maybe you can illuminate us to that throughout the show.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've read it, but I feel like they do handle it somewhat differently. But I think reading it, I was still kind of in the dark as much as I was in the film.
Yeah. I think it's, it's crude to talk about it in this way because it is obviously sexual assault, but it's a really good twist and it's dealt with very well. And the little bits that we get are really, I'd say, very tastefully handled. And one of my great issues with the film is the lack of Joan Cusack, and that we can't, you give us a little bit of Joan Cusack, that's not enough. However, her lovely touching performance and the fact that, in a way, we know Joan Cusack and she's everybody's mother, or more so, she's everybody's headmaster.
Yes.
We've lost all of your children. Would it be
She leaves us wanting one.
This is my impression of her drinking beer. But
I've seen a lot of Cusack impressions on my social media this week, and I wanted to send you every single one.
But I'm not a TikTok. Are they TikToks?
They are.
Well, this is the thing. I'm not a TikTok person. Where are the Cusack? Look, well, I mean, we'll get into a larger Cusack conversation now. But where are the impressions coming from? Is it School of Rock? Is it Addams Family Values?
It's anything. It's just her general demeanor. Good. I watched a video called "Joan Cusack Makes a Smoothie," and it's just it's cinema. It is cinema. And then obviously she's great in and Out, which she got a supporting actress nomination for, and she should have won. What else? And yeah, no, I do love Joan Cusack. It's one of those where I can, in my head, I can go, yeah, this film is infinitely better with a recasting of Sam. I'd even maybe lose Logan Lerman. I think he does a great job. Really?
But I think he does a great job, and I enjoy him for the most part. But I think I don't know. I think there's something missing. I think he's not too normal, dare I say, but he's too clearly. Yeah, he'd be fine. I don't know how to phrase it. But
I think I know what you mean. It's kind of what I was touching on with the book to film changes.
Right, okay,
I think the way Logan Lerman played it was less kind of neurodivergent, whereas in the book he's very clearly stunted, having spent time in the hospital away from his typical social circles. So I think,
and
like I say, it's definitely watered down, but I don't disagree with it.
And it leads, I think, to some of the larger problems in the plot. I mean, one of my biggest changes, I think we've had this conversation before, and then that's when you first explained to me his nature in the book. I mean, the kiss scene comes off as absurd, almost. I think we have, glimpses of him not understanding socially what to do, and obviously he's enamored with Sam, and we get that, but it just comes absolutely out of nowhere, and it's ridiculous.
Whereas it would be in character, if they'd kind of explored it a bit more from the offset.
And also, terrible dare from Patrick. That's not a dare.
It really is. Like, if it was to go how the group expected it to go.
Kiss your girlfriend.
Shit, really.
That's a bad. What? That's not even. And also, is it a purely? They call it truth or dare, but every dare is a kiss. Are they basically playing spin the bottle, but you pick the bottle? I don't know.
I mean, that is very realistic to a high school party, isn't it?
Do you have a favorite band?
Well, I think the Smiths are my favorite.
Are you kidding? I love the Smiths. Best breakup band ever. What's your favorite song?
Asleep. It's from Louder Than Bombs. I heard it on Ponytail Derek's mixtape.
Oh, that works on so many levels.
I can make you guys a copy if you want.
What about Ides? You love Ides, right?
Yeah, of course, they're great.
Not a band, Charlie.
It's a record store downtown. Things sound so much better on vinyl.
You know, I used to be popular before Sam got me some good music.
So you be careful. She'll ruin your life forever.
That's okay.
Hey, nothing. Hey, nothing.
Let it go! Jesus, it's an antique joke. It's over.
So what are you gonna do when you get out of this place?
Well, my Aunt Helen said I should be a writer, but I don't know what I'd write about.
You could write about us.
Yeah. Call it Slut and the Falcon. Make us solve crimes.
You guys seem really happy together. How long have you been boyfriend and girlfriend?
He's not my boy.
Tom's weirdly specific favorite part of the film. I have his Vietnam impression.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I've
just
got them best lines.
It's just a great leading in. It tells us all we need to know. And I love references to Nam. Anytime
Learn that
Vietnam
back in Nam.
is called
That prick
Nam.
punch killed my best friend in a Saigon whorehouse. Just brilliant.
Just good.
Brilliant writing.
Derek's tape. Hi. doing Janice from Chandler. I remember Chandler when I heard this song.
Funny Valentine.
But Derek, I love Charlie at the first dance, drinking juice and his tie like it's straight whiskey, and he's got his tie undone. He's like,
that is a nice touch. And when he like walks, that whole living room routine sequence,
Yeah.
and when he kind of walks in on beat to join them, I just think it's really satisfying.
The Buzz haircuts, of all the high jokes, I love his little. You're gonna
Great touch.
doing some great, just late 70s Woody Allen stage comedy there. Robin Williams sort of great not drop the mic moment, but the where's Michael tonight? Oh, he shot himself last May. Great moment.
I think that kind of alludes to his mental state, for lack of a better phrase, as well, because he doesn't know how to breach that conversation in a way that's like going to be, comfortable for the other person. But then I suppose nobody really does.
No. So he goes. So we don't get it. A strict timeline. So he went into. So did he go into hospital as a kid after the death of Aunt Helen, or did he go in last May? Because Paul Rudd says, "I know you had a hard time last year."
Yeah, I feel like it's not. I don't think it's specified, but I feel like it would have been as a result of Michael's death that he went into hospital and then missed out on starting high school at the right time.
Yeah. Which would have given him another year with Patrick and Sam. Oh, damn. Oh, my pen.
Or did he just miss out on a year of middle school? Because I feel like he is the right age to be there, to be a freshman.
Why would Paul Rudd know? Unless they gave all of his teachers a sort of brief?
Potentially.
I don't know. The moment of it's another Aunt Helen seeding moment of she had bad things done to her and she got through it, She was my favourite person in the world until now. Lovely little moment. Great Paul Rudd moment. Better day than yoga off Sinatra. And that's another one where I think if we had more of not necessarily an awkwardness about him, but again, I don't. From what we get of the Charlie in this film, I don't really think he'd come in that full suit. Maybe on the last day, maybe, but not.
But that's what I mean. That's very in character for book Charlie. I think they tried to like you say, plant the seeds without sustaining it fully, because he still needed to kind of have some airs and graces about him to get into the gang. But the whole idea is that they took him under their...
Say, what's your favourite song on the soundtrack, full stop, and what's your favourite use for song?
Okay. I'd say my favourite use is Come On Eileen.
Yeah.
Just because it gets everybody... It's an electric moment.
Oh, yeah. It is. It's a phenomenal song. It's... my dad heard the song through the wall and then came in after the scene and went, Degsies. It's a great track.
My favourite song, as much as I resent the way it was used, was Heroes. Because how do these, indie music buffs not know the whole time that the song is Heroes? They're searching desperately for it, and it's David Bowie. This
is the thing. It's not some niche song.
Exactly.
It keeps saying the word heroes. It repeatedly says the word heroes. Even if you were going to make a hazard guess, you would go, they kept saying heroes. Yeah, they would even, if they didn't call it the Tunnel Song, they would call it the Hero Song. Little do they know that that's, I can't think of an example at current, but why couldn't they have found a song that doesn't have the title in the song or something?
Well, the song they were going to use originally was Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
Which is a real, what a choice. I mean, great song, but different mood.
Absolutely. Like, it's a lot more mellow. But I think it captures like the theme a bit more specifically.
That would really work as a song that Sam shows to Charlie and is like, oh yeah, listen to this song. And then he sat crying in the snow, which I did in Philadelphia. Sat, cried in the snow and listened to Landslide. Did you know?
I think,
oh, go on.
I was just going to say, as much as it makes you laugh, Heroes is a perfect song.
Oh, it is, yeah.
The swell.
I mean, it's a timeless song and it always will be, as identified in Jojo Rabbit, which also ended with Helden, the German version of Heroes.
Are you a fan of Emma Watson's scream at the end?
I am, actually. Are you not? Is this?
I am.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
I just thought you'd have something to say.
Well, let's do this now. Let's recast Emma Watson. Or are you completely against it?
I'm not completely
make your
against it.
case.
I love Emma Watson. I feel she gives a kind of softness and subtlety to it, while also being, fierce and feisty and fun, whatever. I would not be opposed to recasting it. I'm just not sure who would do it justice.
I'm going to type in now 30-year-old actresses. Because they would have been, they're the same age as Emma Watson and hence would have been the same age then. Here are the names we've got. Emma Watson. Jennifer Lawrence is a no.
Yeah, no. It'd be too gimmicky.
Kristen Stewart?
See, Kristen Stewart gets a bad rap because after Twilight, everyone's like, oh, she can't act. It's just a badly written character.
But she's excellent in Adventureland.
Exactly.
Love Adventure. Actually, no, there's my answer. It's Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart in Adventureland is the version of Sam that I want in this film.
We've seen accent-wise from Little Women. Saoirse Ronan wouldn't do a but totally poor job. But I don't know if she'd be the right age.
Women have minds and they have thoughts.
I don't want to be somebody's crush. I think that would.
Welcome to the island of misfit toys. She has to say everything like this. No, Margot Robbie. Bit too beautiful, I guess. If we're going to make, not that Emma Watson isn't beautiful, and not that Margot Robbie can play quote unquote ugly, as we saw in I, Tonya. But
You've just given me a thought. Rachel McAdams.
Ooh. How old?
But as she was in About Time.
I hate About Time, famously.
Do you? Oh, that's for another day.
Yeah. Some critics, here we go. So Stephen Chbosky says that the heroes, he gets it. He gets it. It's definitely unbelievable. However, he says it's true. He says, we don't believe it. And I'll put my hand on a Bible and say in the early 90s, David Bowie was Let's Dance to Me. He was that guy. The whole 70s Bowie, because I was more into grunge, I came late to him. Listen, if you say to me, the kids not knowing heroes is not realistic, I will cop to it. Anyone who has a bone to pick, I can't argue. But I swear to God, it was real. It just shows that Stephen Chbosky has terrible taste in music.
Well, he said himself he was with the more modern mainstream side of it.
During the Secret Santa party, Charlie hands out specific gifts. Patrick receives only a piece of paper. If you look at Patrick throughout the scene, he appears deeply troubled by whatever is written on the paper. In the novel, the paper contained a poem written by a teen who committed suicide by slashing their wrists after writing it. Obviously, foreshadowing.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that. It's a bloody horrible poem, and I'm kind of glad they didn't feature it. And it's so long as well. It's like 3 pages long.
Cool. So it's like Beowulf. It's an epic poem. Tom's big question. I can't say I was ever especially bullied. I mean, I did have a terrible time in school unrelated to bullies. But are bullies ever really, throw people about like that?
I mean, I guess it differs from place to place.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in where is it set?
I think it's Pittsburgh, because I saw the Pennsylvania skyline and I said, Philadelphia, take me back.
There we go.
Dear friend, I mean, who is it to? It's just a psychiatry device, I presume. Who is he imagining his friend to be?
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's nice because you, as the reader, you feel like it's you. And there's a point as well where Charlie says, don't make any, effort to figure out who I am. In fact, I've changed all of our names. And so his name isn't even Charlie, Sam's name isn't even Sam, etc. So it's a nice point of, this could be anyone because this happens to anyone. And it's that kind of anonymity.
This is true. Did you ever went to a school disco where they actually played good music? I was never at a school disco where they played Come on Eileen. I wish I was. I'm never at parties now where I control the music. Some, but it's the rarity.
You usually get DJ privileges at some point. Usually when most people have left.
Yeah, and then people start enjoying themselves, and it's like, oh, wow, no, they do. It always happens. Nobody dances, and then I put the music on, and people start dancing, and then it's like, let's put some new shit on, and then nobody dances anymore. It's
interesting that you never had that school disco experience because you've grown up to be a school disco announcer.
This is true. Scream if you want to go faster. Here's Build Me Up Buttercup. Play the top 40.
The tuck shop is now open.
Is the prank a bit too far? The painting pink of everything.
That made my mother wet herself laughing. She thought that was brilliant.
Oh, it is. It's great, but it's a bit too far. I was never like, horrible to him or anything.
I mean, it's not a horrible prank, is it?
Well, I think maybe not with the saws, but on some of the serious machinery.
I mean, like, yeah, I wonder if it would affect their functionality if it's got paint, like, makes it. Although you say he wasn't that mean to him, he kind of originated the whole nothing. Phenomenon, which is really like, it's that kind of stuff sticks with you.
Yeah, but he also maybe he thought it was like a joke because he said it and he's like, no, you're not going to do jokes in my classroom. He didn't know that it was going to turn into a gigantic thing.
I don't know. I think it kind of alludes to their ongoing relationship though, because he's been held back multiple times. And so he's, you know, we can only assume that isn't the worst or the only thing that's been said to him.
This is true. And we touched on it a little bit. Do Sam and Charlie ever get together? Do they have a healthy, happy relationship sometime in their future? Or
personally, I love that we don't.
No, of course. Yeah.
Because my biggest pet peeve when it comes to romances is it's why I hated the end of Harry Potter. It's when
everybody's
they
coupled
cut
up
to happy families, marriage. Because as young people, you can't begin to relate to that. You don't know what's in store. And so I think leaving it on that edge of, okay, we don't know what the future holds, but this right now is beautiful and I wouldn't have it any other way. That is what more films should be adopting.
And also it's been a lot, I haven't seen Harry Potter since the cinema, but they're all in couples with people who we've seen throughout the films, haven't we?
With the exception of like a few. So like Draco marries a nobody, Luna marries a nobody, we don't even see her in the final sequence. I think they could have just done completely fine ending it on the bridge with the three of them overlooking the ruins of the castle and then the pan out.
And I guess obviously if you're going to have them dropping the kids off at the train, they do have to be families. They do have to have children. It'd be weird if they were at the train station, not with a child. So I guess
just alumni kind of like, wow.
Oh yeah, guys, you're gonna have a great time. You go,
remember when that was us?
This is just Ron, who's depressed after divorcing Hermione because that's not lasting. And he's just trying
That's
to
what I mean, because it makes you pick at the threads of, okay, are they actually good for each other? Which, you know, I think they are, but
it's just Ron running at the wall. Let me back in. Let me back in.
The glory days of his youth.
And then he gets on a train to Hog. I want to see the great Twilight Zone episode of Stop at Willoughby, where a man keeps going on a train, and then anytime he falls asleep on the train, he wakes up in Willoughby, this perfect town, and it's just depressed Ron, and he goes on, and he's like, stop at Hogwarts. And then obviously that wonderful episode ends with that man killing himself and living forever in Willoughby.
Oh.
Well, no, this is the thing. He falls asleep, and you're like, oh, this is wonderful. He's in Willoughby again, and he's fine. And then he stays in Willoughby, and then they find his body, and then it turns out that Willoughby is the name of the coffin carrier, and it's like, oh, it's so sad. Very good episode. Very good episode. And it doesn't romanticize it. I mean, I guess it does in the literal sense, but then we don't end in Willoughby. We end on his poor corpse and his wife reacting. So it's a very well done episode, and it's bucolic, and it's just terrific. But enough about Harry Potter Twilight Zone crossovers. Had lots of good crossovers this episode. Dirty Dancing and Wallflower, and now Harry Potter and imagine a world where teenage kids know that they're wizards. Rhian, it's you never will have final thoughts because it's your favourite film. But for now, do you have any final thoughts on the person being awful?
It transcends the time, and I've had a sense of shame around liking this film as fiercely as I did. But now I will put my hands up and say it is brilliant. Is it a perfect film? No. Will it always be a comfort and an inspiration to me? Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I have to say, you know, it's not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, but it certainly has a lot more good than it has bad. And for as much as I had my little picking nits, they're picking nits. There's no serious, apart from one major recasting. And that's more for conversation. You know, she's not as terrible as people make out. It's certainly not her worst performance. I thought she genuinely, seriously affected Little Women, and my enjoyment of that film. And I mean, The Bling Ring, very bad.
I'll let her know.
Yeah, I guess one of my biggest changes is the fact that Stephen Chbosky enjoyed working with her, because it led to her being cast as Belle, which is her worst performance. Just terrible, terrible film.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that.
I would.
Right.
I did, and I will again. But alas, Rhian, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for being a wallflower.
Pleasure being here.
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba